OWCS Week 7 was purely the group stage for NA and EMEA, as Korea has deserved a good rest for carrying these videos. This week's vid might be a little different because a lot of the games were really not great, but it doesn't matter because these are still my best and worst plays of the week. Starting off with Team Peps vs ENCE, a wildly unanticipated map 5 banger. In the last stage, Peps were less threatening than a Palafin before switching out, but now they have Exodial, who outplayed Kai on some maps, and Tread, who is playing so well that Gunba might have to give him the chase treatment and Timebro to ride the bench just so ENCE don't lose. And this might be a bit of a tangent, but stay with me for a second. So in Korea, there are a handful of Orissas like Bernard, Tuyu, or Jasmine that have a real ferocity and play Orissa like they're in a MasterChef elimination challenge. But when you look to NA, that feeling is absent. And I don't mean it in a way that they don't make good plays, but more so that there is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression, and no fucking mindset in this Overwatch region. With EMEA though, Tread and Vestola have brought back playing like there's a satellite laser pointing directly at their loved ones. I mean, just listen to Tread in these comm checks.
Hold it. We can push. Go back. Deep. On point on Ursa. Carry one. Lift it. I don't have to.
Bro is fighting for his life out here. Straight up more yaps per minute than Prime Eminem. However, with Vestola, it shines in his gameplay. There's something about the way he's moving that really shows his sense of urgency. And even though I did joke about his loved one's safety earlier, with Gunba at the helm, there is a non-zero chance that it is that serious. If Gunba had to choose between increasing his chances to win DreamHack Dallas or World Peace, I fear it might actually be too easy for ENCE. You cannot convince me you've seen anyone want to Terra Surge a 100 HP Cassidy like this unless there's something going on behind the scenes. It's not even like he was really low or he was about to overheat or anything like that. He just needed that kill immediately. Maybe he just really wanted Exodial dead, and honestly, I understand completely. If I was getting cooked by a 17-year-old kid who ain't even been in the scene for a year, I'd also try to throw everything plus the kitchen sink at him. Exodial got all eyes on him like he's Bo Burnham, and he's still walking it down, letting them all know who the real boss is. And it wasn't just in the flashy OC multi-kills, but through consistent value and making fights favorable for Peps. Name one other player that's not only taking out the enemy team, but also any nearby ghost that might be creeping up on him. And that's not to say Kai wasn't going crazy either, because I have never seen a Tracer more dead than when Naga tried to step to the Boxing King. Kai is smashing Bro's head in harder than your little cousin button mashes in Smash Bros. Bro is losing track of the recall and still hitting the 180 to send Naga to the next dimension. However, it feels much better to hype up Exodial because that way I can purge all memories of Kai playing Tracer in this series. He has a very interesting strategy on the hero that involves dodging the 1v1 as much as possible, which creates moments like this where he tries to run past Naga and just prays he won't be noticed. Bro fully committed to the bit too. He didn't even attempt to go for the recall. Or if he does take the duel, it's while Naga has no idea where he is and has his back turned to Kai completely. And at this point, you might have noticed, damn, Naga's getting kind of cooked. But we have one more crucial point. Vestola devouring Naga's pulse bombs like he's Big Smoke pulling up to the drive-thru. Bro saw what Hanman did last week and tried to one-up him from a different continent. The World Cup is over, bruh. Let it go. He do not know you. Nah, but this eat is different. Naga went for the sneakiest pulse attempt of all time. He didn't shoot. He was hardly seen. The only way to top this would be hitting the Metal Gear Solid box tech, and Vestola still yoinked his shit. You may be wondering, if Vestola's that guy, Kai was that guy, and Kevster is always that guy, how did ENCE go to map 5? And the answer is the single thing Gunba feared most on Florida: old age. Some actions are simply locked up after you've been in the game for so long. Would the 18-year-old cocaine-fueled next up main support whip around and block this pulse? I don't know. But at least they try. Or right here, where Masa fumbles his wall climb so hard, he just had to walk away. What he wanted to do was exactly what FD God did here. But unfortunately, in 6 years, he too will begin to lose motor function. But it wasn't enough to fail the V2 climb. He had to go all the way and hit the Ajax as well. And this was advanced. He ulted at 100 HP while being hunted down like the last Korok seed in Naga's save file and hit the wall climb to increase his cast time, just to feel something. And now it's finally time to stop talking about Naga's misfortunes and talk about how he is the #1 player most likely to be behind you at this very moment. Earlier I was talking about his sneaky pulse bomb, but it's not just the ults, it's everything he does. You are more likely to find an invisible Sombra in the pre-fight than this guy on Tracer. It's like he's doing an Assassin's Creed mission, straight up hanging off the eaves troughs to find an angle on the backline. And once he found his way in undetected, it was over. Even if Crimzo turned the clock back 6 years, he was never reacting in time to stop this massacre. And even though all of these things are true, Pelican is the one that showed us what happens when an extinction level threat goes unnoticed. I felt like Walter White yelling from the car, bro, Mateball, turn around, he's right behind you. Pelican hit so well, after it happened, he still didn't know where he came from. And this was map 5 of a potential reverse sweep for Pip, so Pelican had to pull out all the stops to get this dub. But before we talk about Pelican's Becky level performance, we have to look at the circumstances leading up to it, because at the beginning of this series, Pelican was not locked in whatsoever. Bro was running around on Torb with his hammer out like he's playing CS. And you could tell this was going to be a banger off rip, because Mateball and Liar were trying to go boop for boop on frame 1. And yeah, this is just standard stuff, nothing too crazy, maybe some sleeping on the job from Mateball here, but whatever. But then Mateball receives a vision from a higher being, most likely Primely Jagon, that an unmissable boop of the day opportunity has presented itself. You can see the exact moment he received the prophecy and locked in. He moves across the map with a never before seen intensity. And you can tell this otherworldly experience took a toll, because next map, Mateball starts bashing at his demons. But no future visions could ever foresee the Anyun incident. She gets chipped down like a Gen 3 OU team, hits the 2cm teleport, and just to top it off, gets her Suzu eaten by Hawk. She did bring it back in map 5 by making the enemy team purple for longer than Dante in 2023, and flank nades making her look like the shoe of NA. But it's gonna take a lot more than that to make me forget this horror. But enough about that. Map 3 is where the real lock-in begins. Right off rip, Hawk gets 3-2-1 pushed onto the Go Train tracks, and you can tell Strider was really not pleased that he was getting lapped all last map on Sigma. Bro had to fight back and hit him with the Orisa rundown from hell. But the rest of the map was far from easy. M80 had Pip on the ropes because Pelican cannot be contained. Even with Mateball constantly on his ass like PJ cracking down on people saying the F and SH words, he is still finding time to stick pulse bombs. Even if you hacked onto his Twitter account, insulted Taylor Swift, and got the entire nation of Swifties on his IRL location, he is still finding the time to one-clip your flex support. But unfortunately for him, Chronic is that guy. And in the dying seconds of the game, he hits the nastiest Hail Mary new Queen Street flank in Overwatch history. This is the type of shit Hydron wishes he was doing last season. And unlike another certain someone in Toronto trying to get 70 goals, he does not fumble. And this energy persisted onto Saravasa, with Chronic continuing to lay down the law like, once again, PJ when someone says GG or yippee. I don't know how he did this, but Happy was gone, vanished, looking like the New York Jets after January. Chronic was running this shit now. And it doesn't help that Pip were outplaying M80 with straight up better macro, doing shit like this and trying to Ajax Liar. But bro simply declined their offer. He would rather lose the fight than Ajax. But right here, where he's choosing to play for stats instead of touching point to stall and maybe build beat or get his Kira to TP out, is bonkers. This could be footage of him realizing in real time that if he isn't on Lijiang, he is not built for this. But this isn't even the worst of what Pelican had to carry to win this game. This right here is the worst map flip of all time. They gave up cart control, they gave up high ground control, and now they need to push into the high ground to keep contesting the point. How is this supposed to help in any way? Pip didn't even kill anything because they can just walk the cart all the way home while Chronic shoots off the high ground. Did Hawk get bored? Did he want to start the offense early? I actually do not understand. But low key, I've been glazing Chronic a little too crazy, so I must mention him hitting 2 hit markers total and missing an entire fan the hammer while nanoed. But with that out of the way, we go in for round 2. Where he hits a 3K in overtime to stop M80's push in a very achievable position for the team that currently has all the momentum in the world. So what happened? Why didn't they win? The sole reason why no one else on this team can act like they did anything for this W is Pelican on over 200 ping. Bro was hunting down Stone like he personally is responsible for holding up his visa process and strikes him down at a speed surpassing even peak Lightning McQueen. But guess what? Pelican does it again, and while Stone isn't killed outright, he's out of the fight long enough for Pelican to get down to business. Which brings us to the Mateball vs Pelican saga. This whole map, Pelican was sending bombs at Bro like he's that one little guy from Kirby, and while Mateball did get him back one time, they were all just warm-ups for the real deal. In the last fight of the series, Pelican forces Suzu for his own pulse bomb, then sticks Mateball 5% off beat to kill the hopes and dreams of the reverse sweep and cause every piphead to fall to their knees. But now we move on to our favorite tracer, PGE. Bro came out on the Sombra like no other. I was expecting complete travesty, but I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game. There will be no literally me on Sombra today, just straight work being put in. And before this, he was given Secret the work too. Bro could not lose. The professor has been surpassed by the student. PGE is a big reason FMCL got 3-0'd, and he had a good game. At least when he wasn't on Echo for the first time ever. Like, what are you doing over here, bro? There is nothing for you. Like, bro is just drifting along, going wherever he feels. And I promise you, there is nothing in this back alley worth doing. But to be fair, he was up against one of the best Echoes in the region. Sog saw Mamone hit this, and they said, yup, PGE, you're good to go. You don't need no scrim time. You don't need no nothing. Have a great time. Have fun. Unfortunately, he did not, and probably developed a fear of heights from this experience. While the whole lobby was sogged up from top to bottom, and there were plays from every student, like Infected shoving Seeker off a mountain as if Bro's map wasn't tough enough, the real hero was Scissors. If Bro doesn't find this kill on the Renko, that 3-0 could have turned into a 2-1, and all I'm saying is they don't have Pelican to stop the reverse sweep. Plus, this frame perfect goob on Aerial, timing the pulse right as Doom Block falls, is a shiest read. But the most agency read of all is SK winning not one, but 2 Lucio 1v1s on the weekend. Funny Astro got cooked first. Bro even ran into spawn to heal up, which is approaching Viper levels of fucked up. So I'm glad he lost. With Sobek, she had Bro running around the map to places I didn't even know you could go to, and that couldn't even save him. At this point, SK is the definitive Lucio 1v1 GOAT. And finally, the most important thing to take away from Luminosity vs Timeless is the Dante Winston. I don't even think that this re-engage at 300 HP is his fault. It's more likely that Face is mind controlling him to make his murder on the gladiators look more reasonable. But this next one is just pure fight or flight. You could not show me a clip that personifies even half as much terror as what Dante is experiencing here. That shit had him so visually fucked up that Riker tried to help him out, only to get tossed into a river, probably out of fear once again. Anyway, those are my best and worst plays of OWCS Week 7. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and have yourself a good one. Deuces.